So let us start with standing feet hip width apart, pushing the soles of the feet down so that we can then grow taller. So as we grow taller, think about extending yourself through the hip bones, through the lower back, through the middle back, grow through the upper back, and then through the neck, up through to the crown of the head that pulls up towards the ceiling. Hold that height and hold that position as we shrug our shoulders back and down 2 or 3 times, just to get them mobilized, and then let them rest on top of that rib cage. From here, we're going to think about the core. We're going to think about bringing in that core, so suck it in from the front, from the sides, and from the back. So effectively, we're making our waist as small as possible, almost like bracing. So suck that core in, but keep breathing, but we're breathing in the upper part of our rib cage. So breathe and squeeze that waist in for 4, for 3, for 2, and for 1. Now just let the whole thing go, relax it totally. And we'll go again. So now come tall, bring in the waist, squeeze everything together, engage the core, front, sides and back. We're now engaging the glutes and we're bringing up the pelvic floor. The shoulders are seated, so we are now totally engaged. Keep squeezing for 3, for 2, for 1, and then relax to around 25%. So just relaxing slowly and keeping that small amount of engagement. With that engagement, we are free to move. So let's bring the feet together and start walking up onto the toes alternately, but just pausing in the middle each time as we come up and down. So we're working through the ankles, the knees, and the soles of the feet, and not all the muscles in the feet really, but we're working through them and consciously just moving them and controlling them. Keep that height in the body, and as we move this lower part of the body, take the head and just look over one shoulder, move it horizontally and squeeze as far as that head is going to rotate. Don't over rotate it, but just squeeze gently into the end of your range of motion. Keep the feet going as we return the head to the front. And now look over the other side, so squeezing into that neck, just gently encouraging that range of motion, squeezing gently, and return to the front. We're coming again to the first side, so looking over the shoulder, but this time we're going to take the chin and we're going to drop it towards the chest as we draw a semicircle across the body, keeping that height in the body, but drawing that semicircle so that we stretch the upper back and lower neck. Let's go back again from this direction, so draw that semicircle, keeping the body tall, drawing that circle, feeling the stretch through the back and through the neck. Return to the original position and now come back to the front. Fantastic. I might just need to let somebody in. Keep walking. Oh. Da, da, da. There we go. There we go. Admitted. I'll just put that down. Keep walking. 3, 2, and 1. Welcome guys who've just joined. Keep the feet still. Bring them to hip width apart. Put the hands on the shoulders. So legs are now soft as we start moving the elbows in space, small circles. So keep those shoulders down and just moving small circles initially. Moving those and waking up those rotator cuffs, and now we're getting bigger. So we start bringing in the shoulder blades and coming bigger. And now as we come forward, we're going to tap the elbows together at the front. The shoulder blades come apart. As we open the elbows, the shoulder blades squeeze together. 3 more times. 1, and tap, and open. And the last time, tap, and open. Fantastic. Now, small circles with the elbows backwards this time. Working through again the rotator cuffs in this direction, keeping the shoulders themselves down, not letting them ride up towards the ears. Now making those elbow circles bigger and bigger, thinking about what we're moving. The shoulders themselves, yes, the shoulder blades, we're going to tap 4 times. So tap and squeeze open. Tap and squeeze, two more times. Tap and squeeze, last time. Tap and squeeze. Now keep the arms here, straighten them out. Bring the feet to shoulder width and just stretch. Stretch those arms long with the palms down. Try and reach the opposite sides of the room as we feel the tingling in the forearms and maybe the fingers as well. Really stretch. From here, we're going to bring the hands down, palms to the rear. We're going to do 2 shoulder slices. So coming up. As we stretch around, draw as big a circle as we can, hands past the shoulders, and we turn the palms to the front and stretching up, reaching high. Palms come no closer than hip width apart. As we then come back down, bigger circle as we can, turn the palms to the back. Let's go again, one more time. So really stretching through that upper body and back, reaching long. Turn the hands and up to that slice. Coming back down, turn and down. Marvelous. Now shake off the top of that body. We're just going to begin to think now about the sides of the body. Feet hip width or a narrow hip width together. Hands are going to reach to the ceiling. Sorry, mine disappeared just out of view. But reaching up and reaching up. So just as we reach, we're going to lift the other heel, the opposite heel, off the ground. So I'm concentrating on stretching through one side, then the other. 4 and 3, 2 and 1. Fantastic. Now come down. Let's think a little bit more about stretching. So we're going to put one hand on the hips. We're going to reach sideways. So really reaching across here, hold and stretch. Let us come upright. So up to the top, stretching up here. Let's go back again. So stretching through. Hold. 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's do the other side. So we reach across, feel the stretch under and through the ribs. The hips are stable and still. Use the waist to bring us up. Reach that a little bit higher. As we now lean again, keeping the hips stable, we just lean over to one side. Imagine a sandwich between 2 panes of glass, front and back, and reach long for 4, for 3. 2 and for 1, and use that core to bring us back up. Marvelous. Let's add on to that. We're going to do some rotating wood chops. So we're just going to do 5 each side. So we're going to start up here, arms up on a diagonal. We're going to keep a long back as we come down the opposite diagonal. Don't go too low to start off, but we twist through the balls of those feet as we keep the spine long, looking slightly ahead. Always twist through the balls of the feet, not through the knees. Get that twist through the waist. This is what this is all about, twisting through the waist. And one more, so the whole body is lengthening and turning. Great, looking really good. Let's do the other side. So reaching up here and go again. So down, keeping that long spine, thinking about twisting through the waist. And breathe out on the down and breathe up, in on the up. 2 more. Out on the down. Last one. Out on the down, in as we come back up. Fantastic work. Let's now think really about the obliques. Feet just a little way apart, hands by the sides of the body. What we're going to do is keep this lower triangle still, so feet, knees, hips totally still as we just walk one hand down to one side, get as near to your knee as you can, pull through the waist to bring us back up. Let's go the other side. So what are we working here? We're working primarily the lower back in terms of movement, and we're using the oblique muscles, those at the sides of the body, to bring us back up and down. Engage that core. We're going to do 2 more either side, so think about coming up and tall and then over the other side again, using that waist to bring us back up and down, engage, and up. Fantastic. Wonderful. Have a quick shake off the lower back if you've been feeling anything in that. We're going to add on slightly. So feet come together. We're going to stand tall. Arm position, any one of 3 depending on what you want. You can either have the arms down by the sides, you can have them just sitting loosely on top of the head, or you can hold them slightly higher. Beware of this position and blood pressure, so keep breathing very much if you have your arms up. But whichever you choose, come tall in the body, engage the core, and we're going to lean just 4. So reaching long if you have your arms long, or on top of the head, and use that core to bring us up. We now have a smaller base, so we are less stable. The core is having to work more. 2 more. Left and right, using that core, focusing on the lower body, staying still. Going to add on to that. Hands wherever you want them to be, take 1 foot off the floor. So we're now balancing on one leg, come tall, 4 left and right leans on this leg. So off we go. You possibly won't be able to go as far. Don't let those hips rotate, keep them pointing to the front. Oops. We've got 2 more this leg. So just being mindful, thinking about how much your lower limb is working to keep us balanced. Wonderful. Let's swap legs. So just another 4, that's all. So come tall first of all, engage the core, get that balance as we lean one direction, come up to the center and over to the other side. Let's come up, over again. Up tall last time, here we go. All about that control. And foot down. Well done. Fantastic work. So, I think we have now done the upper body to death. Let's think about the lower body, starting with the hips. I'm going to stand up tall. Move forward a bit now, I'm not going to raise my arms up. Lift one heel off the floor, so my weight is borne on this leg with a soft knee. One heel off the floor, keep my hip bones pointing to the front as we just rotate the knee outwards, squeeze into the glute, and then in towards the other knee. So internal rotation, external rotation. Let's go, keep that movement going. Hip bones stay exactly where they are, nothing else moves. The only thing rotating is this hip. And squeeze into each movement. And 4, 3, 2, and 1. Fantastic. Now for that foot down, we're going to do exactly the same with the other leg before we add on. So come tall, pushing up through this supporting leg, keeping the knee soft. Heel off the floor, open out and squeeze into the glute, and then rotate round. So trying to keep that core stable, the core tall, and nothing moving but this hip joint. Rotating left and right, there's hopefully no strain on it, it's not weight bearing. 4 more. And 3, 2, and 1. So squeezing through. So hopefully that mobilized and you felt that through the hips. We're going to add on to that now. We're going to lift the initial leg, the first leg up, lift it up to hip height. Now if you don't want to do hip openers high, do them on the floor, equally effective. But if you are lifting, lift that leg up, keep those hips to the front. Arms can be wherever you want them, but body is engaged and core is engaged. Rotate that leg out to the side, squeezing into the glute. Hold that position, pause there. And now 3 lifts of that knee up towards the ceiling. So lifting up and down to hip height. Lift up. Keep that body tall, don't move the body. Last time, lift and down. Pause in this open position. Rotate the knee to the front and come down with control. Wonderful, looking great. Let's go again the other side. So supporting leg, knee soft. Lift the knee up to hip height at the front. Get that balance and control, engage the core, and now squeeze the leg open. So we're squeezing into the glute, feeling it maybe in the inner thigh as well. 3 lifts up to the ceiling, off we go. So 1, and down to hip height. Keep that body absolutely still, and down. Last one, up, and down. Hold here, pause, and now rotate the knee to the front, and down with control. Looked absolutely fantastic there. We're still working on these hips. Let's just do some very quick hip circles. We're only doing 4 or 5 each side. Just small, just to shake off the effects of that. Let's go the other way. Keep tall in the body. And we're coming in to squats. So squats, we're going to do 6. We're going to do 3 normal first of all. So put your feet in whatever position works for you in squats. Normally around hip width with the feet turned out slightly, keeping them flat on the floor. Hinge from the knees, hinge from the hips as we pull our hips behind and come down. So down into your position, keeping the chest high, push into the feet and come back up. So your range of motion here, down again, thinking about just opening up the chest, opening up the feet. Wonderful. And the other thing, of course, that is really testing is the ankles. How much can they flex? Come through, squat, and push up. Okay, we're going to add on this time. Beware that is a little bit strong on the hips. We're going to come down and hold that bottom position. From here, just push lightly into your legs, left and right. So we're swaying, weight in left of body, weight in right. Hold that low position if you can. If you need to stand up, obviously do, for 4, 3, 2, 1. Return to the middle, push into the feet and come up. 2 ordinary squats to finish. So down we come, open up. Hopefully that may have opened up the hips just a little bit more. Push in and come up. And last time, your depth, your range of motion. Pause at the bottom and up we come. Fantastic. Shake off, please. Shake off the legs and shake off the hips if you need to. We're coming wide now for some lateral lunges. So we're working through all sides of the body. Now it is the outside of the legs. So as we come down, lateral lunges, we're pushing on the outside, slight outside of the thigh, but we're stretching the inner thigh. So if you're happy with this, fantastic. If you can go lower, begin to go slightly lower. Really doesn't matter, it's what stretches things for you. So coming down and slowly moving left and right. You notice I'm now taking my toes off the floor as I get lower into effectively a Cossack position, a Cossack leg position. We're doing 4 and 3, 2. Now we're going to hold it this side. As I put my hands on the floor, take the outer hand and rotate it to the ceiling. I follow it with my head and middle back. Bring that hand down to the floor and staying low, I move over to the other side and I rotate up. And we're going to do that once more either side. So coming across and rotate and back across to this leg. Here we go, we're rotating through. Fantastic. Arms to the middle and bring the legs in till the feet are hip width apart. And now just roll up, push into the feet and roll up and restack vertebra by vertebra. Oh, excellent work. What have we got now? 2 more things to do. 1 mobilization, 1 strength. So bringing our feet hip width, we're going to relax the back. So we are going to twist. So we're moving our hips and our shoulders now. Lift the rear heel off the floor as we rotate through the balls of the feet, but feel the release in the spine. Arms relaxed, body tall. Just breathe through. Let the natural rotation of the body as we move, just don't force it. So let it rotate naturally. 4 and 3, 2, keep tall, and 1. Wonderful. And today our little strength exercise is going to be side stars, because we don't always use the sides of the body as much as we should. So we are going to do, what are we going to do? 2, I think 2 each side. We're going to start off with a fairly low star and we're going to develop it. So we're going to do it twice each side. At any time, stop at the position that works for you. In the meantime, this is our supporting leg. It is long, it is strong, the glutes are engaged, but the knee is soft. Foot comes out the side here, foot always points to the front. Bring the arms up to shoulder height. And we're going to lift this leg upwards. So we're squeezing the leg up and holding, and breathe into that hold. And now from here, we're going to lift one arm up to the ceiling and form a star. So we're now into the side star position, holding that breathing through. If you want to add on, we're stretching long. We're bringing both arms nearer together. The leg has to come up and we are holding for 4, 3, 2, 1 and up we come. We'll do the other side, then we'll go back again. So let's strong in the leg, glute engaged. Arms out, lift the other leg up. Squeeze it up as high as it's going to go. From here, one arm up to the ceiling, we're into a standing star position. To add on, if you want to, bring the arms closer together, reach and lengthen away, leg and hands as far away as possible. Hold for 4, 3, 2, 1. And then up with control. Fantastic. We'll go a little quicker, once more either side. So original leg supporting. Breathe all the way through this, please. Arms out to the side, leg comes up. Squeezing into that leg, into the star. Bottom leg and supporting leg working really hard as we bring the hands together, stretch and reach for 4, 3, 2, 1. And up to standing. It's looking fantastic. We've been practicing. So this leg, final time, engage the glutes, knees soft, lift up this leg on this side, stretch the arms, lifting up into star position. So holding here. From here, bring those arms together, stretching long. 4, 3, 2, 1, and down. Whew. Have a quick shake. Good work. We're now down on the mat. So adjusting all the screens, please, so that you can see me, I can see you. We will start off in 4-point kneeling. So if you assume we're starting on all fours, I'll just do a little bit of furniture removing. Wonderful. Hopefully you can still just about see me. Absolutely marvellous. So after some of that strength work, the first thing we're going to do is some mobility. So we're going to come down on all fours, remembering that if your wrists aren't brilliant, you don't have to be on your hands for this. You can quite happily just be on your forearms or on your knuckles. The idea for this is we're going to mobilize the hips, not the front of the body. So take that weight off your hands if you need be. So coming long, coming into 4-point kneeling, but with the exception, let me move that out of the way, that we're going to walk one palm width or palm length forward, so our arms are slightly forward of where they would otherwise be. Take the right leg, lengthen it long, cross it over the left. So we're now going to work into the left hip as we sink down, lower those hips down, push through the knee to come back up again. So hopefully now we're mobilizing through that outer left hip and thigh. Things to watch out for in this: keep the spine neutral. So your gaze and your eyes should be always looking at those fingertips to keep the back long. 2 more. Only move as far as works for you. And down for the last time. Wonderful. Return the right leg to its position. We're going to do the same with the left leg. So keep these hands slightly in front of the body as we extend the left leg, cross it over the right. So we're now going to work into this right hip. Here we go, down for 5. So coming down, keeping that spine long, push through the knee and up again. So this is all about mobilizing those bits of the body we don't always get into and we don't always think about too much. Keep those shoulders down. 3 more rocks. 2 more. Last one. Right, return that left leg to its original starting point. We're taking the right leg again. This time it is coming out to the side. If you can see, my foot is flat on the floor, pointing forwards, and my heel of this foot is opposite the knee of this foot. 5 more rock backs. So we're rocking back again. You often can't go quite as far, but this is inner thigh now. So rock back, feel that inner thigh stretching, and you are in control. Stretch down. 2 more. Stretch. Keep looking at those fingertips as we keep that spine long. Now, as we come up, we're going to take the same hand as foot, and we're going to open up. So we're twisting through the middle of the back, and now we're going to thread the needle through. So bring it through and reach between the hand and the leg. Go again, twice more. So open up, rotating through that middle of the back, extending the arm, and now driving through and reaching. So every movement in Pilates is exaggerated, it's long. We breathe through them, but we extend and we stretch the body and reach for the final time. Lovely. Hand back into position, leg back into position. We're going to do exactly the same the other side. So left leg now comes out flat on the floor. Hands in front as we do 5 rock backs initially, keeping that back long. Feel that stretch on the inner thigh, and just note, out of interest, whether it's any different to the other side, whether it's tighter, whether it's looser. Just for future reference, nobody is going to be exactly the same, and it'll change day by day, hour on hour. 2 more. And up. And last one. Down. And up. Fantastic. Taking the same arm as leg, we're going to open out again. And then thread the needle through. So the pelvis is going to twist. It is going to move. We're not asking you to keep that pointing down. We're asking you to rotate it under control. So rotate it consciously as you move this back. Once more. Open up. And then through. Wonderful. Brilliant work. Let us come back into proper 4-point kneeling. So back on the hands. Remember, with 4-point kneeling, it's very easy to put all the weight in the front of the body. It shouldn't be there. Make sure that knees and hips are in a line so that your knees and hips are bearing an amount of that weight as well. We're going to do 3 cat-cows, but really think about them. So first of all, engage the core. Bring the shoulders back away from the ears, so they're not up here, back and down. Spine is long and neutral. Now at the same time, simultaneously even, we're going to drop the chin to the chest, tuck the tailbone under, and use the core to pull and arch the back up to the ceiling. So tucking the tailbone under, dropping the chin, and really push or arching that back up. Hold, use the core, and then down, come back into neutral position. So let's go twice more on that. Using that core at all times to effectively pull your back up to the ceiling as the tailbone and the chin tuck under. Squeeze into that position, forcing the back up as high as it can go, and then gently allow it to relax back to neutral. Last time, raising up. And just noting as we come up this time, which bit of your back are arching. Is it more of the middle back? Is it more of the lower back? Which bits arch, which bits don't? And come back to a neutral position. From here, we're going to do that again, but we're going to come down into effectively a long plank position. Now, the choice is yours between a plank on knees or a full forearm plank. Either way, we're going to be on our forearms. I am clasping my hands together because it's just more comfortable. Whichever way you're doing this, feet or knees, depending on what you're resting on, are hip width apart. Shoulders away from ears. What we're going to do is now turn, and we are going to do those cat-cows again, but in this position. So now tuck the chin down, tuck the tailbone under, the hips do not rise, but we arch the back. So holding and pulling that back up to the ceiling. 3, 2, 1, and back to neutral. So we're still holding this plank for 2 more. Let's go again. Remember, hips do not come up. It is the back that is arching. Engage that core. Shoulders are working as we come down into neutral and then up for the last time. Here we go. Use that core, pull us up, squeeze up to the ceiling, keep those hips low level, tuck the tailbone under for 3, for 2, for 1, and now back into neutral. Knees down, fantastic work. As we push ourselves back, we widen our knees. Let's go into a wide child's pose. So dropping those hips back down. We've worked that lower back. So pushing into the left and right knee. We're just going to open up through the front of the hips. We're going to stretch that lower back. So as we keep our hips down low, and as we keep pushing left and right, we creep those fingertips forward. So we pull through the shoulders and we pull through the middle and the lower back as well. Just allow that stretch. Keep pushing, and now stop the legs, keep in the middle. As we push into both knees, come up to kneeling, come through and come into a Cobra position. Keep the knees on the floor initially. Remember, the Cobra is, in this instance, more of an elongation than a stretch. So I'm not looking for a great arch. I'm looking for you to extend from your knees to the crown of the head. Extend and lengthen, shoulders away from the ears. 3, 2, 1. Let's go down again. Push lightly into the hands and drop back down into child's pose for the second and final time. Coming on down, lightly push left and right. Then from here, holding and pushing into both legs. This time for Cobra, if you want to, tuck the toes under and lengthen through the body. So again, it's a stretch. We're not seeing on how low you can arch your back. It is stretching and lengthening. So lengthen through from the crown of the head to the soles of the feet for 4, 3, 2, 1, and knees down. Well done. And a quick shake of the back if you need to, just to release it. Excellent work. One more thing on our fronts, if I may. So if you're having any ooches, just shake the wrists off a little bit. Last thing on our fronts for today is going to be a downward dog to plank, but I'll demonstrate one so that you can see what we're going to do. We're going to do a move with the knees. Remember, we're going to keep the spine neutral at all times through this. So we are going to come from a plank position, getting our hands in the right place. We're going to push back up to a downward dog. So my spine is still neutral and remains neutral at all times. I'm going to come forward into plank. I'm going to bring same knee to same elbow. I'm then going to move the knee over to the opposite elbow, opposite wrist, same wrist, up and back. So we're going to do a 5 or 6 point move. So if you know that your wrists are going to be a little bit bad with this, come onto your forearms. You can still do the majority of it on forearms and it just saves your wrists. Either way, we're going to do one set each side. See how it goes. If we like it, we'll do another one. Come first of all into a plank, either in forearms or long arms. Hold here. Push back, engaging the core, keeping it firm. Push back into a downward pike or downward dog position. So hips are high, heels are driving down towards the floor. My spine is neutral and my head is in line with my arms as well. This is the start position. Move forward into that plank one more time. Hold the plank, look slightly ahead as I bring my right knee up to my right elbow. Knee comes across to the left elbow, down to the left wrist, across to the right wrist, up to the right elbow again, and push back into downward dog. So all those moves while holding the plank. We're going to do exactly the same now with the left leg. So here we go. Come first of all into a plank position. Now holding that plank firm, not moving anything else, draw the left knee up to the left elbow. Move it across to the right elbow, down to the right wrist, across to the left wrist, up to the left elbow, and back into downward dog. Can we do that once more time, or one more time either side? We're going to speed up. Are you ready? So come forward into plank. Right knee comes to right elbow, left wrist, right elbow, and back. Push those heels down. Last time we're going to come into plank, move the left knee. Here we go, into plank position. Left knee comes to left elbow, to right elbow, down to right wrist, across to left wrist, up to left elbow, and back into that downward dog position for the final time. Just paddle the heels, pressing and stretching through the calves as we're here. And now drop onto the knees And if necessary, just stretch off those hands if you've been having a lot of weight on the hands. So pull forward, pull back, and push forward. There we go. Back and forward. And we're coming down onto our backs now, finally. So we've been doing quite a bit of strength work for the upper body. More or less it's been different positions depending on what we've been doing, but now we're going to work the core, the middle of the body. We're going to do a series of roll-ups, 6 of them. The first 3 are with bent legs, and as we come up, we're going to drop our legs left and right. And then 3 roll up and roll downs. Then we will straighten our legs, do another roll up, but this time when we come to the top, we will rotate the body, keeping the legs still. So the first 3, keep the body still, rotate the legs. Second 3, legs still, rotate the body. So let us come down. The legs are bent, feet on the floor. First thing, just tuck the pelvis under because we are going to roll down fully and it's going to roll. So my pelvis is tucked, my core engaged, and we're going to come down to the mat with control. Wonderful. From here, we're going to roll up with bent legs, so the same speed as we rolled down. So tucking the chin under, the shoulder blades leave the floor, middle back, lower back, and we come tall. Hold the upper body here as we drop the knees to the left and knees to the right. So we're working that pelvis and the knees and legs and inner thighs. Knees come back up to the top, tuck the pelvis, roll down again. Slow as you like, probably slower than me actually. So slow down. Immediately we hit the mat, we come back up again. So peeling that shoulders, upper back, middle back, lower back. Knees to the left and the pelvis, and knees to the right. Come up tall, tuck the pelvis, roll back slowly for that last time. With control, lower back, middle back, upper back onto the mat. The moment the head comes down and rests, let it relax, and then peel back off. So head, neck, shoulders, upper back, middle back, lower back, coming up. Legs down to the left, legs down to the right. Back to the middle. If you're like me and you found yourself walking forwards, sit back on the mat and extend the legs so that the legs are around hip width apart. 3 roll-ups this time with the legs long. If it doesn't work for you, obviously slightly bend the legs. Either way, we're still tucking that pelvis under. So my core is engaged. I'm using that front of the core to lower me down. Lower back, middle back, upper back. Keeping the back spine neutral, don't arch in the lower back. And now peel ourselves back off. Head, neck, shoulders, upper back, middle back, lower back. As we come tall, now we're coming really tall. We're up on our sit bones. We're opening up the arms, so shoulders are down. We're going to rotate to the left. So I'm rotating through my body, my arms and my head follow. And breathe in as we rotate to the front. And then breathe out as we rotate to the right. And in as we rotate to the front. Twice more. Arms back. Tilt the back now into that C curve and roll back down again. Twice more. Holding that core as long as possible. Try not to arch the back as we now peel off again. Head, shoulders, upper back, middle back, lower back. Come tall, sit into those sit bones, open the arms. Shoulders down, moving through the waist to the left. Breathe out as we rotate to the left. Keep the arms in that T position as we rotate to the front. So it's a key way of knowing if you're leading with your arms, if your arms suddenly change position relative to your body. This should just be neutral and standing there or sitting there. And back to the front. Last time, tuck that tailbone under. Down we come, rolling on down with control. And up we come, peeling on up. Controlling that upward movement, coming tall for that last time, opening out. Rotating to the left, through the waist. Rotate to the middle. And the other side through to the right, rotating through the waist. And to the front, and remain sitting. Well done. Okay. What have we got now? We've got a bridge. So we are coming down into a bridge position. So laying down on our backs now, get into a position ready to bridge. And this is a little bit of core stability and a little bit of hamstring work. So bring the heels up as close as is naturally comfortable to the body. Core is engaged, spine is long as we push into the heels and bring the hips upwards into our normal and standard bridge position. Feet flat on the floor, so no knees coming out like that. If your feet are flat on the floor, your knees are generally vertical. So feel that with straight line, knees, hips, shoulders and weight across the shoulder blades. Just a bit of added difficulty, take the hands and cross them over the shoulders. So we now have no support at all as we lift one leg and walk, lift the other leg and walk. So just small little lifts with each knee and each foot off the ground. Keep those hips high. Don't dig your head into the mat in the hope of stabilizing yourself with the head and shoulders. So what are we trying to do here? We are changing the body weight. Obviously it's going from the right leg to the left leg. The body really wants to swing left and right. We have the core engaged at all times and we are trying to stop that swing. We are stabilizing the body no matter what the legs are doing. We're doing another 4 and 3 and 2 and 1. Now both feet down, just reset if the hips have come down a little bit. And what we're going to do now is going to be a little bit tough on the hamstrings, so beware. We're going to do little baby steps of moving our foot outwards. So hands on hips, or if you need stability down on the floor, we're just going to very small little baby steps, moving our feet away from the body, keeping the hips up. You will get to a point where it's tough now. And when you get to that point, you feel it in the hamstrings, 3 hip taps. So tap the hips on the floor, push them up. 2 more. And gently walk back again. Keeping the spine stable, don't let that spine arch. Let's go one more time. So walk those feet out. Gently walking them out, you feel the muscles you're using changing. They change from the glutes more to the hamstrings. So when you've got to a position where you feel that's acceptable, hold here. Make sure you're in a full bridge and now tap the hips to the floor, push them back up to the floor and up, and to the floor and up. And very gently and slowly walk those heels back towards the body. Keep those hips in the air if you can. Final hold in the bridge and now lower the hips down to the floor. If you need to now, just bring the knees up, hug behind the thighs and just stretch that lower back because that can be quite intense on the lower back. You rock left and right, just stretching out now. Okay, lovely. So remain on our backs. We're going to do some proper core, some core work. There we go, double crunches. 3-way core. So we're going to crunch, we're going to chest raise, and we're going to use the lower part of the core, the abdominal core as well. So 3 different exercises, 3 different parts of the core. First one, we're going to crunch, and we're going to crunch up, and that is going to be for the upper core. So any crunch move, please watch out if your back doesn't like crunches. So we are going to be flexing forward, so curling that back and holding it. If you know your back doesn't like that, stay long and neutral and look at the ceiling. Either way, we're going to crunch up and hold. So crunch up and hold and squeeze. Use that core. Squeeze for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and down with control. One more long raise. So curl up, look just past the knees, squeeze even higher, and hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and down with control. We're still crunching. We're going to add on, we're just going to lift the legs into tabletop position. Make sure the back hasn't risen off the mat. We're going to do those 2 crunches again. Here we go. So curling on up. Curl head towards the knees. Hold here and squeeze as hard as you can for 5, for 4, 3, 2, 1, and down with control. The moment we hit that mat, we curl up again. So curling up and crunch and squeeze that little bit more. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and down. Wonderful. Relax the body just for a moment. Bring the feet down. We are now going to do the chest raises. So we are thinking about folding through the tummy button. We're going to keep looking at the ceiling. Everybody this time, we're going to look eyes, chin and chest. We're going to move up to the ceiling. We're only going to move about that much, if that, off the mat. So support the head again. Elbows visible, but not pulling us forward. So visible so that our shoulders are down. We are going to do these moves in 2 parts. We're going to go up, up, down, down. That way we're squeezing in. So keep looking at the ceiling, think about folding through the tummy button, and here we go. So up and squeeze, down, down, up, squeeze, down with control, down. So using the core, squeeze, and we're not using the elbows or the arms, they're just supporting the head. We've got 4 more. Up, squeeze, down. 2 more. Up, squeeze, down, down, and up, squeeze, down, and relax. Fantastic. So middle of the core that was. So we're going to finish off with 1 for the bottom of the core and 1 all-rounder. So we are going to take our hands and we are going to fold them across the body. If you don't like that, keep them on the mat for stability. We are going to take one leg up into tabletop and then the other leg up into tabletop. So we are now in an unsupported tabletop position. We haven't got that support. As ever, if you don't like it, put your hands down. Cross your ankles over and open the knees slightly wider. So holding here. We are going to keep this right angle in the leg, push the lower back onto the mat, drop the heels to the ground, bring the legs back up again. So drop, push that lower back to the mat and use the abdominals to bring the legs back up again. 3, relax the head and shoulders. This is 4, pushing that lower back towards the mat. Now in this position, just swap ankles. So swap the way the legs are crossed and we've got another 4. Engage the core as we drop, tap, and up. Drop, tap, and up. Think of those lower abdominals bringing the legs up. Drop, tap, up, and drop, tap, and up. Well done. very last one. We're going to take our hands behind our heads. We're going to bring our legs up. We're going to do oblique crunches, but with straight legs. So our legs are going to be doing single leg drops, and our arms, we're going to be crunching up and going to the opposite knee. We are going to do just 12. So crunch up first of all, using that core, crunch up as near as you can towards the knees. Off we go. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, use the center of the body, 7, 8, 9, 10, 2 more, 11, and 12. Wonderful. Relax the head and shoulders on the mat. Bring the knees towards you. Again, just hug the knees to the chest and rock left and right. Relax the head and shoulders as well. Brilliant. So now just time for a very quick stretch off. So we're going to release the back first of all. Arms out to the side. Before we move the head, before we move the legs, let's just rock the head and neck left and right, rolling them across the ground, just releasing any tension we had in the neck and shoulders. Stop when the head is pointing to the ceiling, and now just drop the knees down to one side. So now we're thinking about releasing through that lower back. Hold here, push up with the lower leg and drop the knees the other side. Breathe through that stretch as we release through that lower back. Now push the knees up so they're both pointing at the ceiling. Keep one leg bent. We're just going to do a hamstring stretch. They were working during that stretching and during the bridge. So hold here. We've now got a pull and a stretch in the back of the leg. Shouldn't be shaking, shouldn't be hurting, might be uncomfortable. Hold for 4, 3, 2, and 1. Let's bring that leg down, do the other side, stretching through. So just walking that leg as near as is comfortable to the body. As that stretch and that reflex subsides, keep walking that leg slightly nearer so we keep pace with that stretch. Keeping that stretch on for 4, for 3, 2, and for 1. Last stretch, we're coming onto our sides. We're going to stretch through. This time though, instead of doing a plain chest stretch, we're going to do a sunrise one. So it's going to come round the top. So knees and ankles together. We're going to lift our arm round in a sunrise position, stretching long overhead, but coming to the same position as a standard chest stretch. From here, push the hands away from each other. So we're stretching through the front of the chest, through the shoulders, and through the upper arms, just feeling the whole of the upper body stretch and the middle back. If you want to increase this stretch now, straighten the lower leg, let the top knee roll forward. So we've now got a whole body stretch. Breathe into that stretch. Let the muscles relax, especially the back muscles. Bring the legs back together and just bring the arm directly over the top, and we're going to do exactly the same the other side. So roll over onto the other sides. I'll change direction so I can still see the camera, and laying the other side with knees together. Keep the knees and ankles together and sunrise stretch as we stretch through, open up through that chest and mid-back. Relax the head and shoulders and stretch those arms away from each other. Walk the hands as far away from each other as you can and breathe. If you want to increase that stretch as ever, extend that lower leg, let that front knee roll forwards, and that increases the stretch and the twist through the body. So just hold and breathe into that stretch. Holding here for 4, 3, 2, and 1. And there we go. Fantastic. Thank you very much indeed.